Welcome to Hidden Features of Logos You Must Know. And as I shared at the outset, this training really tonight is me sharing with you the tips, the tricks, the techniques that I have found invaluable over the years to get more out of Logos Bible software and more out of the books and resources. This is not an exhaustive list, but it's a list that's going to be very interesting. It's quite variable, and I think you'll enjoy what we have. Now, if you need to bug out a little bit early, no problem. We do make this webinar available for a replay, streaming only at LearnLogos.com/replay. That's available for 5 days. That streaming link will be live tomorrow morning. And if you decide tonight that this webinar is something you want to get, we do have a sale for it right now. It's a $6 sale. Once I release the stream, then the price goes back to $7.99. And remember, VIP members get this webinar for free, so you don't have to purchase it. So let's get started and jump right in. And here's the personal book. As you can see, there's a table of contents with a lot of things in here. But I do want to make mention that one, if you're looking for some related webinars, I didn't put it in here, but I will update it. All my top 50 shortcuts for Logos Bible Software, version 10, 9, 8, 7, all those would be really good. And I recommend those. Now, why is this important? Yes. Oh, well, that would be a problem. Thank you. Oh, I apologize for that. There we go. You know, I do this all the time, and I made the mistake. So I apologize for that. The good news is it was all recorded, and you haven't missed anything significant. So thank you for jumping in there. And normally I see that in the chat room, but I did not this time. So let me fix that, so I can see the chats better. So bear with me. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate that. And yes, we do make mistakes once in a while, and I couldn't do this without you guys, so thank you. All right, so why is this helpful? This is to help you get the full potential of Logos Bible software. And in some situations, some of these shortcuts will combine key features in Logos with key books. So we will hit upon some of those key books here and there. So this is the list. We're going to cover 26 different features today, and that is a lot. So this is going to be rapid fire, but we'll do our best to slow down and handle any questions as we go. All right, so let's do some, and there's going to be a variety here. Some of these you may be familiar with, some of these you may not. It just depends. All right, so the first one is linking verse-related images to the passage you're studying. So let me demonstrate this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my library, and I'm going to open up my preferred standard Bible. So I'm going to open up the NASB 95. You can open up the King James. Doesn't matter. All right. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a book in my library that has a lot of images that are verse-based. Turns out the ESV Study Bible is one of the better ones that has quite a few images spread throughout the Bible. And so here it is, the ESV Study Bible. I'm going to click and open that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to link the Bible, the two Bibles, the study Bibles. I'm going to click on the three dots here at the top left and choose Link Set A. Then we're going to go to the New American Standard Bible, click those same three dots, the stoplight menu I like to call it, and choose Link Set A. All right, so now they're both, let's make sure that Link Set A actually sticks. There we go. So you can see the little A there at the top. That's to let you know that both these books are linked. Now, the way linking works is this box has to have the same type of information. So in our case, we're looking at Bible cross-references. If this was a Bible cross-reference and let's say a dictionary, for the most part, those don't work. All right, now what do? The next thing you want to do is click on this little button here, the inline search button. We'll click on that and then choose search, and you're going to type in the following command, #image, and press enter. Now what's that going to do is that's going to hide all the text and only show you the images. Now here we are at Isaiah chapter 1 verse 25, and the image it chose was Isaiah 6, 7 through 9, which means that there's no images between chapter 1 and chapter 7, but this is the first one that's in there. Now if we were to jump to, let's say, Genesis 1, you can see that we're in Genesis 1, but the first image is Genesis 2, 15 through 16. So if we go down to 2, and now we jump to Genesis 2, and we pass that image, we're now at Genesis 10. So this little clue, this little heading, tells you what passage the image is related to. So you can be studying And if you happen to hit a passage, I'll just keep cruising here. And so now as I'm studying, there's Genesis 12. The images will change automatically for me. And I do this because if there is an image, I want to be notified. I'm not always searching for images near a particular passage, though I can do that. But this is a nice, easy way to get a lot of maps very quickly. So love that little feature. If you wanted to search for passages and images at the same time, let me just do a little extra bonus search here. So I'm going to click on the search icon. We're going to choose books. We're going to choose the your books, all text, all passages. And we would type in again pound image. But then what we're going to do is type in a specific passage. So I'm going to put in Genesis 18. All right, 16 through 33. And then once you type in a verse, make sure, very important, when that drop-down menu appears with the red ribbon, you can click it. And go ahead and press enter. And then in a few moments, every image in your library will be available. Now, I'm in the book view, so I don't see anything. So I have to click in the library view. And now I will see any images related to this passage range. And now I can quickly scan my whole library for any images. And this is really powerful because not only are you getting like maps, but you're getting charts, you're getting archaeological information, other important information. And that is really, really powerful and really, really helpful. So if you're looking for an image for a specific passage, this is definitely a definitive way to go. All right, let me go ahead and click that X, close these resources down, and we'll go to our next one, number 2. Now, this next thing is link to anything L4. I've been using this for years. I love this feature. So let's again open up a book randomly. I'm just going to pick this book, Believer's Bible Commentary, Hosea 11. And what I'm going to do in this situation is I'm going to open up my notes file. So I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to type in Notes. And I'm going to drag this over to the right. Now, you can do this in Notes. You can do this in Word. And we'll do a Word example in a moment here. Let me just get rid of that anchor. So here we are in a random note. And we're in this Believer's Bible Commentary. Now, what you do, and this works with anything that has an options menu, this stoplight menu, this 3 vertical dots. If you click on it, you'll see that you have this option, copy location, URL, HTML, L4 wiki, and RL. We're going to choose L4. All right, there we go. And I'm going to type in a description. So we're going to type in Believer's Bible Commentary. And you can type in anything you want. And I'll put in parentheses Hosea 11, 1 through 8. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to be very specific. So I'm going to select this text first. This is something that's really important. By selecting the text, you're telling Logos, I want this information to be recalled. And not the specific information, but the location where this information is. So I click the 3 dots again, choose L4, and then I'm going to select Believer's Bible Commentary. Now, I could select the verse, but I won't do that because I do like the verse to be linkable, so I like to leave that alone. So just the text, I've selected it. That will enable the paperclip link icon. And when we click that, we now have a box in which we can right-click and choose Paste. And then we'll choose Save. When you click off it, you'll see that it is now highlighted. Now, if we float our mouse, you can see the context. Now, you won't see everything depending on how much text you selected, but you will at least see a paragraph. Now, I'm going to change this location first, and I'm going to close the book. So I'm in Joel, nothing up my digital sleeve. I'm going to click on this, and look at that. It took me exactly back to Hosea 11, 1 through 4, right to the paragraph. Now, this is great for content. Let's do this in Microsoft Word now. So I'm going to open up Word. But let's do a guide, all right? So I'm going to go to a guide, and I'm going to choose something we don't do normally. Let's do topic guide. And we'll put in the word resurrection. I'm going to click the 3 dots. I'm going to choose copy location L4. Then I'm going to go to my Word document, and I'm going to put in the word resurrection, select it all, and then do insert, locate link on the menu, insert link. And then I'm going to right-click right here in address and choose paste and click OK. Now let's go back to Logos, and we're going to change our topic to, let's say, love, and close it down just to make sure. So now I'm going to go back to Logos. I'm going to hold down the control button and then click the link. this little message will pop up. You can turn this off later, but I'm just going to say yes. And there you go. There's my topic guide. There's my resurrection. So anything, book, guides, documents, anything that has these three dots where you've got the menu option L4, you can link back to it. Now, why do we do this? The strategy is now you can save specific spots. You can even save specific searches. I'll do one more example. So we'll do pound image near, let's say, Genesis 10. We'll put in Genesis 10, select it. We'll run that search. Now I'm going to click the three dots. I'm going to choose L4. I'm going to go back to my notes document in this case, and I'm going to put in search. Let's get in here at the end of the search. We'll do search Genesis 10 with images. And again, we could just click on search, choose the paper, clip, right click inside the box, do paste, do save. Again, I'll close everything down. Let's close the search. And now we can click search. And look at that. It remembers the search. So this is a wonderful way to save history, a location, a search, a document, and you can put all of that in notes and literally recreate the steps of your studies or save something that you want to reuse later. Love this feature. Very powerful. All right, let's go ahead and close both of those down. So as I said, book reports, command searches, anything. Now, let's talk about favorites and searches, bookmarking, and favorite books. Favorites is a wonderful feature, and you can get to it by doing tools, type in Fav on the menu, and click favorites. What I've done is I've dragged it up to my shortcut toolbar because I use this pretty regularly. Now, if you look inside my favorites folder, you can see I've got folders labeled key commentaries, magnification. I do this because I'm always switching screens, so I've saved the command to rescale Logos, which is pretty handy. I have some specialized searches here that I use quite often, so those are all saved here. So favorites is a very flexible tool. I even have key books. All right, so I can click and expand that. Now, how do we use this? How do we leverage this? All right, so let's start first with simply a search. So we'll click on our search icon. We'll click the drop-down menu here for history, and we'll just reuse this search. Now, this is a great template search because it's an image plus a key verse. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to left-click on the tab, and I'm going to drag that, and I'm putting in my folder searching, but you can create a folder, and I'm going to release it. Now, as soon as I release it, it's going to put in the full search term. There it is. And I can then click the three dots and rename it, but I'll leave it as it is. So now I can close this search window, click on image near, and it's going to run the search. And now I can modify this to be any passage that I want. So this is a wonderful way to save frequently used searches. What about bookmarking? A gentleman had reached out to me, sharing with me about a forum and people struggling with the reading plan to kind of pick up where they left off easily, or just, you want to read and save your spot. How can you do that easily? Well, this is very easy with favorites. So I'm going to pick the Bible Knowledge Commentary, and here I am. I've been reading, and I'm going to stop right here, a lesson from history. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select that text, no big deal, left click, and I'm going to drag this tab right under key books, and then release it. And you'll see that Hosea 12, 3-6 has been saved. So if I click it, I can then do this. And there I am. Now notice it didn't quite save the same spot, and that's because commentaries are organized verse by verse. So you might want to just do a little highlight, something like this. I have a shortcut key to my highlighting. And so that way when I reopen the book, I know exactly where I left off. And then when I want to erase that, I just press Control-Shift-K. So I think this is probably the easiest way. Just create a folder by clicking Add, New Folder, and call it, books you're reading. Drag those in there. And then when it's time to pick up, you pick up the book, and let's say you go further in the book. Now, this is key. You'll have to click and delete that previous favorite, and then left click and re-drag and drop. That's all you got to do. So delete the old one, add the new one, and you have a bookmark, my friend. All right, let's click the three dots and delete that. And then the third one is favorite books. So this is pretty straightforward, but I do have certain books that I want to use at certain times. And you can see I've done this folder multiple times because I keep demoing this feature. but I have some key commentaries right here. Here's my key book. So I've got my DBL Greek, my Tyndale Dictionary, my IVP background. I'm studying the book of Mark, so I have my Bible knowledge commentary, my notes. This is on the book of Daniel, some good stuff there, and so forth. So these are books that I want to be reminded of, and I want to be able to find them. So I just drop them in here, and they serve as a great reminder. So I could really call this key books, and so I'm going to do that, key books, and press enter. So very, very powerful. The favorites tool is really flexible. In fact, I just thought of it at this moment. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my personal folder, and I'm going to take my personal book, and let's just see if we can left click and drag that and put it in here. And sure enough, if I click on that, Logos will allow you to shortcut to documents. So anything that you can create a shortcut to, a web page, a document, you have that ability to drag and drop right into the favorites, and that just makes life a lot easier. So for example, let's say you're doing a sermon every week and you want it in a Word doc. Well, you can save that Word doc right here. You can go to your sermon folder and you are good to go. So very powerful capability there. All right, let's go to number 4, and instant word studies. I've demonstrated this multiple times. I absolutely love this feature. And when I'm in my word study layout, I do this all the time. But let me go ahead and open it up. So we have our Bible at the left. We're going to go to Guides. We'll type in Bible Word. We'll locate Bible Word Study under the Guides menu, click and open it. Now, in order for this to work, we have it on 2 separate sides, one for the Bible, one for the Word Study. And then we've got to link it up. So we click the 3 dots, choose Link Set A, and repeat that process for the Bible. Click the 3 dots, locate Link Set A, click it. Now, the way this works, and this doesn't matter if you're in the Old Testament, New Testament, Aramaic, Hebrew, Greek, doesn't matter. We're going to click on the word years. And as soon as I click on the word years, the Bible word study will move to the underline lemma, and that's the word years. Now, I have the report set up where I'm just having the lemma. Now, you could create a custom guide with just the lemma, but I like having the whole report. And so now if we jump to the New Testament for Matthew, let's say 28:16, and we want to look up the word baptizing, we can click on baptizing, and look at that. It populates it with baptizo, and you are good to go. So if you're doing word studies, this is a really good strategy. Now let's take this one step further. Let's go ahead and save this as a layout. All right, so I'm going to click on Layouts, this icon right here. And I'm going to choose Save as Name as Layout, and we could choose Word Study. And let me just put a 1 in front of it to kind of make it easy to find. All right, so we put a 1 in front of it, we saved it. Now we can scroll down in our list until we find the one with the check mark. There it is. And we can left click and drag and drop this to the shortcut menu. I'll put it at the end here. We can right click on that menu, give it a label. We'll just say 1. And now if we close everything down and click that 1, instantly all the windows that we had open, all the linking is saved, and we can get to that instantly. So really cool feature. Love that. All right. So let's go to when there is no copy and paste for verses in interactive guides. And one of these that's notorious for this is the feasts and sacrifices. So let's go to Tools and then type in Feast and click on Israelite Feasts and Sacrifices. Now, one of the things that makes this really awesome, this particular feature, which I just covered in my most recent webinar, Foundations Overview of 39 Interactive Features in Logos, is this one on Israel Feasts and Sacrifices. So let's say you're studying the sin offering, specifically the blood offerings, and I think that's a pretty good. All right, you've got 18 passages here. Notice that if we click this options menu here, there's no export feature. Also, if we select the text, we can't select the text. There's no way to select it. So how do you extract this information out? So here's a little trick. What you do is you just click, and then you do Control A for a PC or Command A for a Mac. Then you right click, choose selection, and choose copy. All right, let's see what happens. So then we're going to go to Documents, we're going to go to New, and we're going to go to Passage List. And this can be a little tricky, so we may have to do this a second time, but we're going to do add clipboard, and look at that. All the passages that were in there. Exodus 30, there's the 18 all the way. So even though you did not see it get selected, it actually is selected. So what about dragging documents? So we demonstrated this a little bit earlier with the Word. The key in doing this is opening up your Explorer or your Finder if you're on a Mac, and just finding something that you want to drag and drop. And this is pretty cool. So here's my sermons that I've been preaching. And let's say I'm working on a message and I'm not done with it yet. So I'm going to take my sermon document and I'm going to drag that. And it turns out not only can you drag it onto the favorites, but you can also drag it onto the shortcut toolbar. Anything that's drag and drop, you can drag and drop for the most part in Logos. I have seen it act funky once in a while, but there you go. And notice this time it's including the icon, which is pretty nice. Before it used to not do that as well. So let's take a web page. That's a pretty standard thing that people have. And let's just go to LearnLogos.com. All right, so here we are at LearnLogos.com, a shameless plug for me. And you have to know where to drag from. So usually just to the left of the web address, there's some icons. And usually any one of these will work. I'm going to click on that one. And again, I'm dragging that up to the top and releasing. And this will bring the shortcut icon associated with the website. They call it the fav icon. So if you can drag and drop it, you can drag and drop it to favorites. You can drag and drop it to the shortcut menu. Now, all you got to do to get rid of it is right-click, choose delete. Right-click and choose delete. All right, let's go to number 7. Creating collections using subjects and titles. I can't tell you how many times I've had to use this feature. So I'm going to left-click on the library and drag that down. And I'm going to close my help here, and let's make this a full window. Now you'll notice, first thing, that I'm in the detail view. That's very critical. To get to the detail view, which shows you the most information, is right over here. So we're going to click on this item and choose details view. You must be in the details view for this feature. And I think this is a superior view. Now you can right click, and you'll notice if you right click on any of the columns, any of the labels of the columns, you get this menu, and this allows you to turn on and off different columns of information. So if you didn't want to see the book cover, you could just uncheck image. But if you right click it and want to see the image cover, click on image. So you can pick and choose what you want to see. I'm not a big fan of the my tag, so I'm going to get rid of that. I never use the rating, so I'm going to get rid of that. The abbreviated title, not really relevant, so I'll get rid of that. And then I do like the series. I do like the subjects. The license, not needed to know. Last updated can be handy, so we'll leave that there. And I think we're in pretty good shape. All right, so now we've got fewer columns to deal with. And here's the most important column, subjects. Now, let's say you're studying a particular topic. I'm going to pick the Millennium Kingdom. All right, if we type in Millennium, we're going to get a variety of resources. And if we actually click rank here, that sorts them by what's most relevant. And here's a book called The Truth About the Millennium. Now, let's say I wanted to know if there was more books in my library on this topic. Now, I typed in Millennium, and I pretty much got a good view, but I got a lot of stuff I don't need. Like, what in the world is the Dead Sea Scrolls showing up? I don't need to see that, or the Qumran Scrolls. So I don't need to see that. So I'm going to click on the title, but not open it, just that white space between the author and the title. So it's selected. There's the bar. I'm going to go over to the far right, and I'm going to look inside the subject column and see what's there. Notice we have the word millennium. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do subject : millennium. And notice now that all the ones that have millennium in the subject now appear. Now if we look at our list,